Happiness is freedom. Freedom is having the choice to spend your time doing things that inspire you. Most people want freedom, but many people don't have a clear objective, a roadmap, or a strategy to achieve it. Everyone deserves to live an inspired and free life. I believe that when we're free and able to focus on our most meaningful work, we simply become better human beings. We can give more, care more, support more, and love more. I'm an investor, a trader, and an entrepreneur, and I get to spend every day doing what I love. At the age of 29 years old, I became financially free, and since then my mission has been to help and inspire other people to achieve the same so that they can be more of who they really want to be. Always Free is about having a free mind, being free to question the status quo, free to take risks, free to say no, free to say yes, free from social idealisms, opinions and beliefs, free to disobey, and free to wake up every day and spend your time to make a difference that inspires you. You can have it all. Living a life designed by you isn't a stroke of luck or a result of circumstance. It's a choice. So if you want to learn how to become free and live an inspired life, join me for the #1 show for financial empowerment and wealth creation as I share my insights, tips, strategies and advice on what allowed me to be always free. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Jason Graystone. Well, welcome back to another episode of the Always Free Show. I appreciate you being here, guys. Welcome. Let me know how your week's been. I hope it's been good. I hope you've had a nice week. I hope you caught the Always Free podcast earlier today. And for those of you who've been tuning into the show that I do with Akil Stokes, the Trader Coffee Break, thanks for tuning into that as well. Hello. Julie, how you doing? Bobby, how you doing? If you've been here more than once, definitely hit the like button, show us some love, make sure that we see the hearts coming in, the lights coming in. If you're on YouTube, Facebook, maybe you're in Instagram, maybe you're watching on Twitch. Neil Storr, good to have you. Patrick, how you doing? Sarah's here. Excellent. We've got people from all over the place. In fact, one of the things, evening Craig, one of the things we've been looking at actually is there's this kind of app that goes onto YouTube. It's kind of a bolt onto YouTube that actually shows the where you're from. It shows the world atlas, and that's something we're going to probably get working next week. But glad everyone's here. Hi Julie, hi Robbie. Robbie, congratulations on winning the hoodie last week. Hopefully that's on its way to you if it's not already with you. And by the way, if you're entering these competitions every week and you're receiving one of these hoodies, as long as it fits well, if it doesn't fit well, let the team know and we'll send you another one. If it does fit well, wear it and send us a picture of it. That's going to enter you into more competitions automatically. If you send us a picture and tag us on social of you wearing one of these hoodies, we're going to be able to enter you automatically into bigger prizes. So it's kind of a snowball competition. So definitely do that. All right, Dale, how are you doing? So look, this week, what I wanted to do is I wanted to mix it up a little bit differently because I got we normally have like a normal question of the week. What I did this week is I basically just went onto Instagram today and I said, what is something that we can... Bobby says I've worn it most days. We'll get a pic. Excellent. Yeah, definitely send me a picture. Hello. So what I wanted to do is I went onto Instagram. Just going to turn this off just a sec. I went onto Instagram and I said, right, what is some of your most... What are some of the questions or what are some of the things that you feel that you'd get most value from if I was to cover during this evening's show? And we had lots and lots of replies, probably 20 to 30 answers to the question. And we've picked a couple of those and we're going to be sharing those during this evening. I picked two and I'm going to put them into one because they kind of both related to each other. So we're going to go through and answer those questions. Hope we'll find out what it's about soon. From Southampton. First time here, appreciate you being here. Appreciate you being here, Cable Trader. Is this live? Yes, it's live. So don't swear. in all seriousness, thanks for everyone for tuning in. It's a great, I really enjoy doing these shows, and it's great. It's a highlight of the week, especially as we're going into Friday. But anyway, what I want to do is I want to throw up a couple of questions, okay? So you guys can type in questions as we go. If you're new to this show, it's the #1 show for financial empowerment and wealth creation. It was a spin-off off of a podcast that I launched, which was a spin-off of a newsletter which I launched back in 2018. Launched a podcast in 2019, went straight to #1 on iTunes in 3 different categories, over 300 5-star reviews. So we thought, well, let's keep it going. Let's build the brand Always Free, get the message out to more people. And now we thought we'd do an audio and visual delivery of the Always Free principles. So that's what we're sharing with you guys. Appreciate everyone being here. And there's also been about 6 or 7 other episodes that you can go and watch on replay as well. So what we're going to talk about is, well, the way this works, is towards the end of this program, we're going to do a competition. Every week there's a competition and you go in line to win some prizes. This week we're going to be giving away one of these Always Free hoodies, color of your choice out of black, gray and white, and a size of your choice. And that's what we're going to be doing at the end. In order to be in a chance to win that competition, you have to be around at that time of the competition, commenting, and you also have to share. Take a snapshot now of this show, tag me to let me know you're listening, and that will increase your chances of winning a hoodie. As you guys have already won one, you already know. You know the deal. So anyway, let's get on with the show. So the first question that came in was on Instagram. We've kind of hidden the name because I didn't know if they wanted us to share who it was. But the question was how to deal with being broke to financially comfortable and the change in life. So I want to address that a little bit, and I also want to address the other question that came in, which was understanding how to best use the various services, best route to follow a journey. Basically, where do I go? What order do I do things? So it's a real great set of questions because they're both similar, right? I need to answer one to answer the other. And especially with everything going on at the moment, where everyone's mind's trying to figure out how to best use their money, I want to really break this down for you in the best possible way, the most practical way, the most graphical way, so that you can understand it, because I'm a person that likes to draw things to understand. And I'm going to do that. I'm going to do my best to share that journey with you. And hopefully what I'm about to tell you will resonate, and some pennies will drop and some light bulbs will blow. So that's the goal. You should write a book at some point. My book is due out literally any week now. There's been a long process with that book. First it was, changing the book, doing 2 edits on the book. Then it was going to publish, and then we changed it. And then then COVID hit. That destroyed the process. And then we went for 6 different trademarks, registered trademarks, which took a long time. And I didn't want the book going out before the trademarks. But anyway, that's another story. So let's get stuck in. All right. So what I want to do is I want to, first of all, talk about most people's approach. Okay. Now, I work with traders. And a lot of traders come to me and they want to learn to trade, or a lot of people come and say, I want to learn to trade. And that's kind of the first thing that they want to learn. Okay, it's the first thing that they want to learn, and they come in, and in order to become successful at trading, you have to be able to deal with complexity. Okay, you have to be able to deal with challenge, handle risk, be a good decision maker, being able to make decisions under pressure, being able to deal with pressure, being able to deal with adversity, adaptation, logic. And the thing is, the people that try to do that when they're broke haven't unlocked that part of their brain that's going to allow them to have results doing that. Does that make sense? Let me know if that makes sense. Hello, Tony. How you doing? They haven't unlocked the part of the brain that allows them to actually have success doing that, because they're still thinking binary. They're thinking yes, no, survival. what have I got to do to eat tomorrow? That's how they're thinking. And the reason they're thinking like that is because there's some other bits, there's some other processes and kind of foundations that they need in order to slowly work up to earn that level of risk. And I speak about this all the time. Earn your right to risk, yeah, right? So who here is familiar with Maslow's hierarchy of needs? Everyone knows Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You've probably seen it. It looks like this. Okay, now this diagram here is a representation. If you imagine the human mind, and if you imagine that you've got no money, right, and all you want to do is survive at your core level, you're going to need food, shelter, water, right? We've said this in the last episodes. When you get that food and shelter and water and warmth, then you're able to not worry about that, unlock an upper part of your brain, which allows you to make decisions, that get a bit more creative, okay? Look for security and strengthening your security and your safety. And then once you've got that in place, you start to ascend and you start to then think about your purpose and giving back and caring for other people. And then you get to a point eventually where you think, right, now it's about me just living the life that I am inspired to live, whether that's giving back to people or whatever you want to do, charities. That's really where you get to at the end point. Let's just see what I'll bring the chat up in a minute. But that's how it works. Okay, that's how it works. Now, what happens is you've heard me speak a lot about how to build wealth, right? And I'm going to do a little drawing here, because what most people do is they get paid. Can everyone see this? Here we go. Look, we've got some magic here. So most people get paid, and let's just say that their income goes into their bank. They're one bucket, if you like. All the income from their active job goes into one bucket, and that's it. They get paid in that bucket. Make sense? I hope all traders here become very rich. Cool. And then what happens is they spend that money. So they've got a big leaky bucket. The water runs out. The money comes in. It goes out immediately. They don't know where it's going. Let's use this camera. Whoops, that was a bit funky. The water comes in. It all spills out. They don't know where the money's going. And then they have to what? They're worried about how they're going to eat and pay for security and pay for their shelter and pay for food, just like Maslow's hierarchy of needs, for the following month. And then guess what happens? They come in, they get paid with their income, right? They get paid. It all leaks out because they've got no control over their spending. What happens? They then are back into survival mode. And they're constantly in this here. They're constantly in this here, in that survival mode, physiological needs, physiological needs, physiological needs. And what they don't do is unlock parts of their brain that allow them to start thinking about, well, how can I use my income better? How can I raise my income? Okay, they're not even thinking about growth. The first thing they need to do is think about how they can use their income so that they can go up to that safety and security level. All right? So what they need to do is to put a bit of a tap on this, okay? Put a little restrictor on that so they know how much is going out. And then what they want to do is fill up this bucket with 3 to 6 months living costs, which I recommended, which we did. Some of you guys are still doing that exercise. And that's what we want to do. We want to save up 3 to 6 months living costs so that we know here we've got these physiological needs for the future, for the foreseeable. And that allows us to then move up the level, allows us to move up to the next level. And that's when we can start dealing with, we've got security, we can then start feeling a little bit creative. Who here understands that when you've got money in the bank, you don't feel desperate? You feel a little bit frivolous, right? Who here feels that? Who here also understands that you know, when you don't have any money and you feel poor, you do scarcity stuff. You're desperate. You talk differently. You try and compete. And, you know, you're trying to outdo competition and you're trying to lower your prices. We do that as well, right? So when the whole time we're doing that, the whole time we can't move up. We can't move up. We need security. So the best way to get security is to restrict your living costs. Make sure that you've got some cash buffers, which we've been through in previous episodes. And then once we get to that level, then we can start growing the money. Okay, meaning we don't want to be making this money work for us. We want to make money after this work for us. Once we've got the physiological needs and the safety and security, then we go up to growth. All right, then we can grow our money. And you can't skip any of this. This is the problem. If you skip it, you're trying to skip Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You're trying to skip an evolutional process that humans just can't do. They can't skip. So if you're trying to go from physiological needs to self-actualization and passive income and do whatever you want to do, you can see how that doesn't work. One, because you haven't got the strategies to sustainably keep that, but two, you haven't earned the right to that level of creativity and risk and logic. And you can't handle that decision-making process, and you can't deal with that level of risk, and you can't even comprehend compound interest or anything like that, because you're not thinking that far ahead. You're not thinking that far ahead. Make sense? Hopefully I haven't lost anyone. I like how the graph covered in the chakra system, and exactly the same. All of that stuff is exactly the same, okay? All of the evolutional kind of pyramids or chakra or Maslow or Kohlberg or, you know, all the different diagrams that you've seen are all based on the same thing. If you think about religions, and you think they talk about earth and they talk about heaven. Heaven is self-actualization. That's what it is. It's a point where you're happy in yourself. It's not, you know, some place in the sky. It's you being happy within. That's heaven. And that is the self-actualization. So it's all linked. It's all related, whether it's finances or it's, whether it's finances or whether it's you going on some spiritual journey, it's all the same thing. It's all the same thing. Okay, so what we want to do, is we want to make sure once we get to that point, then we can put some of this money to work and we can put it into growth funds, investments. We can put it into index funds. We can put it into ETFs, real estate investment trusts. We can then start to passively invest our money, test the water, get your feet wet, okay? Maintain security. And then once we've done that, we can then move up again, right? To the next level, and the next level, and the next level. And then we're earning our right to risk. So let me just show you this on a real kind of graphical representation of how this looks in real life and why each level is important. So let's just say we've got this pyramid, okay? Got this pyramid here. Down here, we're going to liken this to Maslow's hierarchy of needs. All right, we're going to liken it to that. So follow your plan, year's worth of safety net, basic funds, investments, self-development account, even speculative investments, Bitcoin, ready to step up a level. Excellent. Excellent. Okay. We'll get to that. So we want to build our finances and our wealth like Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Okay. I want to make sure I'm not missing some of these questions. Follows. All right, there's some spam. All right, so look, we've got the pyramid, and down here, what would be this lowest part of the pyramid if it came to your finances? It would be cash. Okay, So how does that link to Maslow's hierarchy of needs? It pays for physiological needs. What do we need? We need 3 to 6 months living expenses to pay for those physiological needs. So we want to build a cash cushion. Now, there is a return on investment on that cash cushion. And I'll give the example of the builder goes into your house, he talks aggressively because he's got no savings, you don't use him again, you don't pay him, you don't recommend him to your friends. And then the builder who has got money in the bank, and you call them up and you say, I've got some snags, you go around their house, the builder goes around the house, he's happy, he goes, look, I'm gonna make sure this works for you, I want a long-term relationship with you, and everything works out, the people are really happy, they pay you a tip, they recommend you to the friends. There's a return on investment just by having a cash cushion. All right, that is the most passive investment you can make, putting a cash cushion away. The next level, the next level will be some passive funds, okay? Diversification of funds, so that you are putting your money across the whole market and you're buying the whole market regularly. And that's very passive, it's automated. Okay? The next level might be large cap stocks. And bear in mind, there's a different strategy for buying index funds as there is for large cap stocks. Just because you own the S&P 500, for instance, and you own part of that is Apple, Microsoft, Johnson & Johnson, Berkshire Hathaway, Coca-Cola, it doesn't mean that you should go and then buy those stocks individually. Does that make sense? There's a different strategy altogether. It doesn't mean you're going to get a good deal on the stock. You have to apply a different strategy. So as you ascend this triangle, this pyramid, what else do you need? You need more skills. You need to unlock more skills as you go up and up and up, right? Now, once you've got some money working for you in the market and you're growing your income, which was coming in the top, remember, of our bucket. Don't know why it keeps doing that. But it was coming in our bucket, remember? As you're growing or working on growing that income and the income's coming in and being invested this way, you're unlocking parts of your brain that allow you to deal with more complexity, more chaos. You can deal with chaos and you're able to make better decisions. You're also able to get creative about how you grow your money. You'll also be able to get creative with your lifestyle and how much you actually need to be happy in your lifestyle. So you can start growing your lifestyle the right way. You can start growing your business because you've got more time and creativity and care that goes into your business because you're not worried about bringing in, charging the cheapest so that you can quickly make a quick buck and go back into physiological needs mode. You're actually stepping up. You're evolving. This is evolution. So you're moving up and up and up. Next thing, you might go into some medium cap stocks. Next thing, small cap. Next thing, startups. Next thing, you might be doing a business until the point where you reach this, which is speculation. All right. Now, this is where you can flip a property or buy a Bitcoin or, trade Forex or do some trading. This is where you're going to be able to do that without worrying. And you're going to be doing it because you're focused on the process of doing it rather than a need to make a quick buck. Does that make sense? Let me know if any of you have been through this process and let me know if you've tried it the other way and what results you've had. I'll be interested to see what results you've had if you've done it the other way around. Now, here's the point that I wanted to really dig into here. A lot of people say, well, I need to make a living from trading. I need to make a living from investments. I need to cover this amount or that amount for my expenses from trading Forex or a Bitcoin return or my dividend yields. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to just focus on one thing. And they think that if they don't get that certain return from that one endeavor or that one skill, then they're a failure or they're not doing well at it or they don't have the flexibility to then do anything else later on. We see this all the time. So what I want to get across to you guys is when you're thinking about this stuff, just starting my pyramid, makes sense, excellent. When you're thinking about this stuff, what we want to think about is the return Come on. The return that this spits out, okay? Based on your total liquidity that's invested this way, in your income, in your business, in your cash buffer, in your investments, whether you're trading, let's just say that you work out the return on investment that you need is 100 grand a year, okay? And you want 100 grand a year to spit out of this without eating into that without eating into the liquidity, so that it's always there and it's always growing, and you need 100 grand a year. All right, well, let's just say 10 grand a month, because that keeps the numbers real simple. You know now that you want 10,000 a month, all right? You want 10,000 a month. Now, you don't have to get that just from trading. You don't have to get that just from dividend yields. You don't have to get that just from business. When you've got a system this way, you're able to flexibly change your agenda, change your objective, depending on what opportunities are there, what your focus is and energy is right now, what's going on in the markets. I'll give you a real clear example here. There was a period of time just at the start of lockdown, where we went into lockdown, and on the 3rd of April, I had my best trading day ever. And we did about £133,000, about 18 hours. It was across 6 trades. And what that did is, I'll get to these comments in a moment. What that did at that time, it meant that I saw all businesses closing down. We weren't allowed to leave the house. I had a great cushion in my trading account, and my focus went from going out and doing other opportunities and business deals and things like that to, well, I'm going to trade a bit more. And I just focused on trading for about 3 or 4 months solid. And that was where my attention was. So guess what? I moved some money into here. I had a big windfall in my trading account, went a little bit top heavy. I put a lot of focus into trading for 3 or 4 months, grew that. And then as lockdown started to ease, plus I was in lockdown, I was working on products and services. I was picking other stocks. I was doing some other opportunities. We're now involved in a property development. Guess what I can do? I can take some out of my speculation account and put it here. I can put it here without affecting this. Make sense? Because I do the calculations and I go, right, I still need to maintain that. So based on my performance here and my performance here and my performance here, on average over a 12-month period, how much can I move, and how's that going to affect the total liquidity, and how's that going to affect the returns, and how can I keep this? Make sense? So my goal for this episode was to get you to think about the bigger picture, get you to think about going about it the right way, and get you to think about not being so fixed in your mindset as to, I need to make this from trading, or I need to do this. You can be very free in your business, and you can create passive income streams very efficiently by building it this way. You've got many TOF members in here who are doing this and have done this, okay? Julie here is doing absolutely fantastic on business. She just smashed a £500,000 month almost. So amazing. Done £500,000 in revenue for the month. Absolutely incredible. But I really wanted you to get thinking about this, all right? Thinking about this whole process and think about it as a whole, and see how it all pieces together in order to get you to where you want to be as efficiently as possible, whilst getting the returns that you need to cover your lifestyle costs, all right? So the key is get a cash cushion, then start to work your way up. Build up the cash cushion, then get your feet wet in the markets by a diversified fund, which is low risk, low return, low skill, low effort. And then maybe you go and pick a large cap stock, which requires more skill, but you're not going to be able to do that until you've got money in the market and you've got a taste. And then once you've done that and you've had some returns and you've seen some results, you then go and increase your level of risk and your level of skill and your level of returns, right? And then until the point where you're using your skills to manage the whole thing. But you cannot manage a system like this if you're down here. It makes no sense to go from here to try and manage this whole thing. You won't do it. That very approach is what will stop you getting the results. You need to take a few steps back. All right? So does that make sense to everyone? Has everyone got a little bit from that? TOF member, guys, have my buffer index fund set up, currently building my stocks. Amazing. Where to learn about large cap stock investing, YouTube, books, etc. Cool. TOF. Yeah, right. So look, let me talk to you about TOF, right? I showed you Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Okay, so I showed you this diagram. TOF pyramid is this. So we've built the program in order so that you have the maximum results, so that you work through it, not just in a logical strategy, but literally work through it from an evolutional standpoint of humans, so that it's tied to your inner fibers, so it's tied to your inner desires and your needs for certainty, so that you go through the program the right way and you build wealth the right way, and you're able to get results, and you're able to get where you want to be, and you're able to reach that level of self-actualization. So hopefully that makes sense. And the reason I've been talking about this a lot today on today's show is because I want to let you in on the fact that we are doing an intake for TOF, okay? You have to be in the Facebook group, and we are doing the biggest intake that we've done in terms of bonuses that we've ever done. It's to celebrate the 4th of July, which is Independence Day, and we're allowing up to 30 people into the program now, okay? We normally let 15. We raised it to 18, but we're going to let 30 people in, and you can then work with me and my team immediately. If there's any TOF members watching this, please let us know your thoughts on TOF so we can be transparent if anyone's thinking about that. But you have to get into the Facebook group. You have to get into the Facebook group in order to be in a chance to get in that program. If you do get into the Facebook group, we'll send you a link to sign up, or the information, the invitation to sign up. There's about 3 or 4 spaces left. We're closing it down on the 4th of July, and I hope to be working with you guys in there because I'm going to walk you through this whole process. I'm going to teach you literally everything that I do myself so you can be where you want to be as well. All right? So thanks for listening. We're going to do the competition time now, and that just leaves competition time. So let's go into competition time. As I said before, you have to be here during competition time. You have to be able to comment, and you have to be sharing. So now's the time to take a picture, take a snapshot of this, post it on your social, tag me in it. This is where we're going to be using that to enroll you into next week's competition. But before we get into that, we're going to go into this week's winner. So, by the way, congratulations to Robbie Johnson for winning last week. This week, we've got another well-deserved member about to win. So, drum roll. Drum roll. The winner this week is... Boom, Neil Storr, well done, man. You well deserved. Neil Storr, you've been here, I think every week. You've been commenting, you've been engaged in the chat. I love how engaged this chat is as well. So well done, Neil Storr. Hats off to you. Hoodie, get in touch with the team, admin@graystone.education, admin@graystone.education, and we'll be sending you your hoodie, color of your choice, size of your choice, and I definitely want a picture of you wearing it. So if any of the winners here have got one of these hoodies, take a picture, put it on now, take a picture, tag me on it, and we'll get a little gallery going of all the guys that have won, the Always Free Show winners. So that's it for another week, guys. I hope you got value from that. It was just the idea was just to give you a broader perspective of how it works so that you're not beating yourself up for not getting a result in a certain area. It's much broader than that, but there is a way that you have to go about it. Otherwise, you're literally limiting yourself from getting to where you want to be. You physically and emotionally can't do it. You can't do it. So step back if you need to. Get into the Facebook group as well. It's tearsoffreedom.com/mastermind, tearsoffreedom.com/mastermind, and I look forward to working with you in the Tears of Freedom program. So thanks everyone for showing up and tuning in, guys. I really do love this show. Until next week, have a great rest of your day and weekend, and I will see you then.